It's awake.
The words float in the darkness around my head. I blink once, twice, 3 times to make sure my eyes are open. Have I gone blind? What's the last thing I remember? And why can't I move? Hello? I ask the darkness.
Are you scared?
Then laughter replaces the words. It's a high-pitched, halting cackle that echoes harshly off the hard walls. Brick? Stone? Am I in a basement? I try to move my arms and legs, but they're strapped tightly to whatever I'm laying on. Its rigid and its creakiness make me think that it's wood. Whatever this is, a table or some kind of other platform, seems to be tilted. I could feel sweat drip down my back, so I know I must be upright. Yes, I say. I'm scared. The laughter stops suddenly, like it's been playing on a radio that just got unplugged.
Good. That's just how it likes him.
It? I ask. Again, my captor chuckles. I can't tell if it's a man or a woman. It almost sounds like it's coming through a speaker. Or like a tiny megaphone.
We're all monsters here. You'll see soon enough. Sit with yourself. And one question before we get started. Why did you come back to that high school reunion? After everything you did to your classmates and your teachers and everything you still continue to do, why did you come back?
I sift through the clouds in my head and search for sunlight. That's right. That's the last thing I remember. I was at the Farmington Central High School reunion, my 10-year anniversary. I went back to my podunk town to see all the losers and to show them what I had made of myself. They demolished our high school a few years ago, so we met at the new one nearby. I think the old one is a parking lot or a strip mall now. I haven't kept up with the news around here since I left. I got the hell out of this state after high school and went east for college. I got a business degree and moved to the big city. While I was climbing the ladder in the finance world, I attended this webinar about building our brand, and something about it really stuck with me. Maybe it was the fact I could make extra income just for being a more amplified version of myself. So I did what all the other great entrepreneurs of our time have done. I took my talents to social media. I started out by sharing my daily routine as a high-level financial professional living in the big city. I talked about what it meant to be a man. I gained a pretty big following, and people started picking fights with me online. And so, I started calling them out. I started using my research skills to expose the anonymous commenters and let my followers have at them. I'm famous, you know, I say to the voice in the darkness. People will come looking for me, and they're gonna screw you up.
Your followers do have a certain appetite for blood, just like you always have, just like you did in high school.
Ah, come on, I say. I mean, what is this, some kind of joke? The voice gets deeper, like my question made it more serious.
This is most certainly not a joke, Philip Davenport.
Who are you? I ask. Emily Porter? Davy, or what's his name? I barely even remember you losers. You're just jealous that I left and made something of.
Silence!
It thunders from all around me, like I'm in the middle of a storm.
You've done your talking. You've talked for years. You're still talking. Spreading your venom like rotten seeds in the wind. It's time for you to listen, Philip Davenport.
I hear a shuffling like curtains in the wind, and then the restraints holding my wrists and ankles release. I fall forward and smack against the hard, wet floor before I can break my fall. I think about the $800 shirt I wore to the reunion, and how it's probably all muddy now. Fucking losers! I spit against the ground. Get a life. You couldn't take a joke 10 years ago, and you haven't even gotten over them. I push myself to my feet and reach out around me. I feel the large slab of wood I was tied to. It doesn't feel like anything special, just a huge piece of wood dotted with what feels like leather straps. I expected my eyes to adjust to the darkness a little bit by this point, but it's still so dark, I almost feel like I'm blindfolded. But I touch my face and there's no blindfold. I step gingerly in one direction, then cautiously in another direction. People will miss me, you know, I say. Will come looking for me. Whatever the hell this is.
You haven't guessed yet?
Now that I'm a little less groggy, I'm starting to hear that voice better. It sounds like multiple voices speaking at once. More than 2 or 3 of them. It sounds like a dozen or more. They buzz together like a horde of bees. "I'd bet you'd love it if I guessed," I say. "If I played along with your little game. You know, I'm not scared anymore. Not at all. Now I'm just pissed."
That can be changed.
A door to my left swings open, screaming on its hinges. Then a light comes on in the hallway. It's a single bulb swinging from the ceiling, with the chain dangling beneath it. Something that looks like a puff of smoke shrinks away from the chain. My surroundings are more or less what I pictured. The room and hallway have stone walls, floors, and ceilings, and water drips from various places in the ceiling. I assume I'm underground, and this space seems familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Until I turn around and see the piece of wood I was strapped to. I see 6 letters, 3 on top of 3. ARMENT. I recognized that font and those letters. It was the main sign in front of Farmington Central High School.
Are those memories returning, Mr. Big Shot?
I'm in the tunnels below the school, I say. The old school, the one they demolished.
The school crumbled, but the tunnels remain. And so do the echoes.
A chill runs through me and I could feel my heart speed up. "The echoes?" I ask.
"Slut!"
A girl's voice says from the hallway. I recognize her voice but can't remember her name.
"Do us a favor and kill yourself."
A boy's voice says. Again, I know that voice but can't place it. Insults assault me from all sides. They call me names. They tell me I'll never amount to anything. They say nobody will ever love me. I can't place the voices, but after a minute, I recognize the words. They're mine. I said all these things in the building that used to stand above these tunnels.
"I'll invite you to the party when you lose 20 pounds.
The last voice says before the tunnel goes silent. And that one I know. Carl Lassiter. I locked him down here for a whole school day once. I dragged him into this exact room and then ran, pulled the light switch to turn it off, and climbed up the ladder before Carl could catch up to me. That nerdy little soy boy had pissed himself by the time I finally fished him out of here. He said he was going to report me, and I told him that if he did, I would beat his sister so badly, nobody would want to take her to prom. It was a popular threat of mine. And then, as a cherry on top of my prank, I made that dork eat dog food out of my hand and thanked me for it. He was starving and terrified after his time in the tunnels. You know, I've grown a lot since then, I say, putting on my best regretful voice. I made mistakes. I was immature.
Are you afraid, Philip?
Just let me out of here, I say.
Come into the light, Philip. It wants to see that brave face of yours a little better.
And there was that it again. What was it, and why does it want to see me? I shuffle my way out of the room and into the tunnel. There's a strange smell out here, and a film clinging to the walls. I reach out to touch it, but think better of it, and drop my hand to my side. When the voice speaks, it's louder than it was in the other room.
You can touch it, Philip. You had no problem touching it when you were younger.
Panic spreads in my chest like a fresh stain. I clench my fists and take a shuddering breath. Why the hell do you keep saying it? I say. What are you talking about? Who the hell are you?
Did you recognize your words when they were repeated back to you a few moments ago? It's surprised you don't recognize them now.
I don't remember, I whisper. I put my hands on the side of my head and squeeze. I don't know what you're talking about. The individual voices speak in frantic tones up and down the tunnel.
It!
I take off running. I know there's a ladder up there past the swinging light bulb, and even if it leads to a pile of rubble, I could still get the hell out of here. And then there's that sound of fabric flapping all around me again, in addition to the screaming of that horrible single syllable.
It!
I stumble past the light bulb and it gets to the ladder. Thank goodness it's still here. I climb up and push on the trap door. It doesn't budge. Not at all. I scream for help. I pound on the door until my hands throb. All the while, the voices howl that word at me. I drop to the floor and sink to my knees. What? I screech. What do you want? What do you mean? The tunnel goes silent again for a few moments. Then the voice speaks, calmly this time.
Your victims are never human, are they? Do you recall the ways you would dehumanize them? You scratched names off class lists. You pretended they weren't there. Do you remember what you called so many of them in high school? Your poor, unfortunate victims.
I don't want it to be my partner, one voice down the hall says. It shouldn't have a say, another voice says. It should ride the bench all season, another says. It, I whisper. I called them it. I've totally forgotten that. I thought it was so creative to do that. Annoying to some and, well, devastating to others. I wanted to make them feel like the little rodents they were. The vermin, the dog shit on the bottom of my shoe.
You convinced them that they were monsters. You made them afraid to be themselves. You made them afraid of the world. You fed on that fear. The fear of the monsters they thought they were.
A sound goes up and down the corridor that feels somewhere between a sigh and a rustling. I think the walls just moved, or maybe the film on the walls moved. The voice comes back, deeper and angrier this time. Along with each word, the rustling in the corridor grows louder.
You created monsters here, Philip Davenport. Then you left, and all your victims left. But they each left a part of that monster here. They shed those monsters like a skin, and they stayed here waiting for you.
The walls come to life. Dozens of people climb out of the film covering the walls. They look at me with black eyes that glisten like obsidian in the light bulb's glow. I scream and I fall to my knees. I put my hands up in self-defense, but nobody touches me. None of them leap from their spots on the walls to attack me. And I see now that they're fluttering, and the words of the voice come back to me. They shed those monsters like a skin, and they stayed here. These are those shedded skins, those monsters these kids left behind, so they can't harm me, right? They're just trying to frighten me. My chest burns with terror, but I'm not going to give them what they want. You know, you look like a bunch of balloons, I say. I would pop every one of you if I could. Laughter sounds from all around me. I clasp my hands over my ears and laugh back at them. And then one of the skins fall on me. It's hot and clammy, clinging to my skin like a freshly popped bubble of gum. I claw at it, but I just keep getting more entangled in it. I climb to my feet and try to run down the hallway from the room I was in. I stumble into a wall and come away sticky with another of the skins, and they whisper at me from all around me. Worthless, fat, slut, loser. Just die already. The hallway was filled with my immature words from a lifetime ago, filtered through the cursed monstrous skins that were left behind. I claw at the film over my head until I rip it open. I could see again, and I run down the dim hallway as quickly as I can. Another bulb turns out in front of me, and a skin monster from the wall is still hanging onto the chain. They reach out to me from all sides, sticking to me and slowing me down as I run.
Do you remember where the tunnel leads?
And I think that's Carl's voice again. And shit, now that he mentions it, I do remember. This tunnel eventually goes all the way to Hathorn Park. I had a couple of my boys posted up there when I locked Carl down here, so they could stop him and keep him trapped. Damn, I blocked out a lot about high school. If I can make it to that exit, I can get away from these horrible things forever, and I'm never coming back to another reunion. I splash through puddles and claw through sticky tendrils of skin monsters as I race through a tunnel like a rat in the shittiest maze ever. Anger and revenge have replaced panic and fear in my chest, and I'm ready to unleash them when I make it out of here. I'm going to find out who did this to me at the reunion, who drugged and kidnapped me, and I'm going to ruin their lives. Bastards, I yell. Fucking losers. It's all I can manage to say through my labored breaths. Not only am I running as fast as I can, but I still have some of the sticky skin stretched across my face. As I run through the tunnels, I could hear them rustling along with me. It's like the running of the bulls, if there were 1,000 bulls and only one man. Every time a light bulb flashes to life in front of me, I could see the layers of skin monsters on the wall getting thicker. I brush against them as I run down the tunnel, and I bring my arms closer to my body. I run as fast as I can. It can't be long now. And finally, I see a light in the distance. Natural light, not a bulb. Finally. Hawthorne Park. I've almost made it. Fuck you all, I yell. When I get out of here, you're gonna be... The light at the end of the hall gets dimmer. Then it disappears almost entirely. A few moments later, I figure out what's happened. The skin monsters outran me. They got to the tunnel opening first, and now they've closed it off. I stop for a moment to catch my breath. I put my hands on my knees and suck in the stale air of the tunnel. I'm going to have to go through them if I want to get out of here. I look back up at the path ahead of me, and between me and the dim light of the outdoors is a swimming, pulsing mass of skin monsters. My stomach drops as I think about how difficult it was to fight off just one of them earlier. My hands start shaking and I feel tears forming behind my eyes. I cough and shake my head, turning away from the monsters so that they don't see my fear. But of course they could see it. It's as clear as the daylight they're keeping from me. They laugh hideously, stabbing my eardrums with their shrill cackles in this tight passageway. Stop laughing at me, I scream through sobs. It takes all of you to stop one of me, and you still won't even stop me. I'm not sure if I believe what I'm actually saying, but I have to project strength. That's a language these twerps could never speak, but could always understand. I wipe my eyes, curl my hands into fists, and turn to face them. The black eyes float in the dim light, and I could tell each of them are smiling at me. They won't be smiling for much longer. I crouch like an Olympic sprinter and take off. I howl with rage as I plunge into their gelatinous, sticky mass. I claw away at them. I love the way it feels when I rip them apart. I make progress for a few moments, but their stickiness is too much. It clings to me, head to toe. I can barely move as they take me into their supernaturally strong grasp. I claw away at them until I can't move. I grit my teeth and I try to push forward, but they have me, and I scream. And that's when they go inside me. They plunge into my open mouth. It feels like I'm swallowing huge sheets of sticky paper. The eyes drop down my throat like marbles, and I can feel them burst when they reach my stomach. They swim through me. They seep into my ears. They squeeze around my eyes, and they surge up my nose. Worse than the physical sensation of them going through me is the way they make me feel. I'm hopeless. I feel ugly. Hell, I feel stupid. I feel useless. I don't want anybody to see me. I want to stay inside this tunnel forever, so I don't make other people sad with how pathetic I am. I don't want to be around anymore. And after what feels like an eternity, I fall to the stone floor of the tunnel. I'm a different person than I was when I ran into that mass of skin monsters. And now, I'm the monster. And I know it. I've never done a good thing in my life. I have never contributed anything. I have nothing to offer. I curl up in the fetal position and sob. I want someone to hold me, but I want to be ignored and left alone at the same time. "Come on out, Philip," a cheery voice says, but it's not the same voice that spoke to me in the tunnels, but I still recognize it. "Come on, Philip. You can make it, buddy." I uncurl myself and crawl toward the sunlight. I don't have the strength or the will to stand up. "That's it," the voice says. "Well, that's a good boy." I crawl until the stone beneath me turns to grass. I inhale fresh air and hear the wind through the trees in Hathorne Park. And then I look up. Carl Lassiter looks down at me. He's a decade older than the last time I saw him, but it's definitely him. He's still the pale, spindly nerd who I trapped in the tunnels when we were in high school. "Carl?" I sputter. Carl smiles at me. "That's right, Philip," he says. "Well, I'm glad you remember me, because I remember you, and this place certainly remembers you." "Carl, I'm so sorry," I say. "I'm worthless. I'm worse than worthless. I'm the same as this grass. I deserve to be stepped on and ripped apart and eaten and turned into animal shit. I'm... Carl puts a hand on my head and pats me like a dog. "Now you know how you made all of us feel," he says. "You made us feel like freaks, like monsters. And you're still doing it, aren't you? Your hate used to be confined to this place, but now you're spreading it everywhere like a disease." I sob so hard that I gag. I spit great gobs of phlegm at Carl's feet. "It's getting upset," Carl says, but I could tell he's not talking to me. I look up and see dozens of other people standing behind Carl now, and I recognize all of them. "It looks even sadder than I thought it would," one of them said. "It's pathetic," another says. "It always was." "Just kill me," I say. "I deserve to be gone." Carl chuckles. "Well, I'm afraid you're not going to get off that easy," he says. "You created Monster here, and we all left parts of our monsters. But we carry them with us still." Carl kneels in front of me, his knees squished into the phlegm I deposited at his feet. I look up at him, and I see his eyes have turned black. Obsidian. "Now you're going to carry those monsters with you, Philip," he says. "You'll need your strength first, though." He reaches into his pocket and holds out a palm full of dog food to me. I don't hesitate. I scarf it up, pocket lint and all. I even lick his palm clean, and I thank him. Carl stands back up. I look behind him, and all of my former classmates wear black eyes and wide smiles.
"Now back in the tunnel. We're just getting started.